Here's the average template of a harem anime. A gaggle of various characters chase the guy or girl with little personality and an aversion to making decisions and has little to no interaction with the opposite sex. In most harem animes, the average young man or woman is attracted to one of the targets, but they remain confused about their own feelings for the others, which means most of the conflict centers on communication. When it comes to harem animes, they make it so much more fun to watch the characters struggle with their communication skills. Although there is a romantic aspect, it is often overshadowed by the cheesy cliches that is found in the world of anime. For example, tripping on air and falling on top of someone, accidentally opening the door to someone changing or showering, having two people come super close only for it to not be a kiss scene. This style of anime has become increasingly popular over the years, with some of the most popular series in the genre being Love Hina, Tenchi Muyo, and School Days. We'll take a look at the history of harem anime, the characteristics of its characters, and the tropes associated with the genre. We'll also discuss whether or not the genre is outdated and critique some of the best harem anime shows available today. The history of harem anime dates back to the 1980s with the release of titles like Mai-san Ikoku and Yurusei Yatsura, both of which featured a central male protagonist surrounded by a bevy of female characters. As the genre evolved, the characters in harem anime began to feature more intricate personalities, backgrounds, and motivations. By the early 2000s, harem anime had become a staple of the anime industry with countless series being released each year, which is why you see them so often nowadays. I guarantee you at least one harem series per season. Harem animes are one of the most popular genres in anime. They're a staple of almost every otaku's media diet, and it's easy to see why. They're always full of interesting characters who makes all the funny compilation videos that much worth it to watch. They're also known for having a lot of fan service. That is, scenes that are designed to appeal to certain groups of viewers who like seeing attractive women in various states of undress. It's safe because they're technically not naked. This idea became so popular that it opened up to reverse harems where female audiences see attractive men in their own various states of undress or scenarios. And this is where gender equality shined. I hope you can tell this was sarcasm. But what is it that makes harem anime so appealing? What is it about them that makes us keep coming back for more? Honestly, it's the absurd idea that one person can be with more than just one other person under a romantic pretense. Usually the protagonist or heroine remains aloof of the advances made by the targets of the harem well into the end of the series, leaving everyone to remain in an ambiguous love relationship where everyone is into the main character and no doors are closed on the romance. At this point of my weeb life, I am honestly sick of harems, whether they are full of women, men, love triangles, love squares, sexy fan service. I have seen it all, and it's just so predictable. There are certain characteristics that make up these harems of women or men, and they're pretty much the same all the damn time. We've got the tsundere, the childhood friend, the younger sibling, the kurere, basically someone that does not show facial expressions much and always sounds bored or tired, the sporty one, the dark looking one, they're usually the one with eye bags or just glooming in general, the yandere, or as you know, the one who wants to keep you to themselves and will do this until death do you part, the literal kind. There's more to this, but if I keep listing things, you'll lose interest, so let's move on. Now, each of these types of characters will have a backstory that will explain their personality, and if you add a hint of tragic, then it becomes the perfect explanation as to why these people behave the way they do. There's generally not much uniqueness to these characters in a harem series, and it's much too bland for it to become memorable in any shape or form. But now, there are more varieties to these harems like gods and goddesses, demons and demoness, spirits, monsters. Almost anything you can name has basically been made into a harem series. I did particularly like this one series called The Testament of Sister New Devil. Despite the name of it, the reason why this is my favorite is thanks to the plot. I give credit to the unique look of the protagonist as he's not the overly generic male character who sports black hair and brown eyes. Rather, he does have a more memorable face, and the storyline was actually a good combination of action and, let's say, plot. When it comes to the harem series I hate the most, it has got to be School Days. I absolutely hated the direction School Days was heading at the end there. It was actually believable that the wimpy kid could actually get some girls to agree to be his girlfriend, because let's be honest, you can't get girls if you know how to talk and act. It also helps if you're at least average looking. Generic is also okay. Blank is even better. I hope you can tell I am being very sarcastic for calling anyone generic or blank. Nowadays, when it comes to bad endings in harem series, you don't see much of it. This was why I had not expected the yandere route in School Days in the last episode where the dude was just killed so brutally. Then again, he had it coming. Anyways, it really doesn't change the fact that harem animes have become predictable. Generally, the series always begins like this. The very unmemorable protagonists will make their way through one normal day, but then it's not really a regular day because all these women or men keep popping up. Then one move later, these people become fascinated with the main character and tries to pursue them because there's just something different or fascinating about them. Thus begins a third-hand embarrassment that we the viewers feel from the poor attempt at flirting and seeing the half-naked scenes that pretty much serves as fan service. Not saying that I don't love a good fan service myself, but at some point it does become a little bit boring. Because there is a limit to how many times I can see them half naked without wondering, is there a plot or is this the plot? Sometimes I need something to stimulate the brain and this ain't it. If I want eye candy, I'll just look at images. I have no need for a whole 24-minute episode. But back to harem anime being very basic, you can pretty much figure out how everything is going to end. I know for sure all of these animes with a harem will end with no one winning the main character's heart, and everyone will end up in a will they won't they scenario. It's basically playing relationship chicken with all the targets and making sure no one gets together. How fun. Albeit there are still good things to harem animes. The comedy is actually good enough to make me laugh, the animation is always so pretty to look at, and there are always an abundance of characters to simp over. In the historical cases of harems or polygamy, it mainly deals with powerful men much like sultans and their harems. Polyandry or dealings of a wife having multiple husbands rarely happened compared to polygamy. However, the men and women who usually had harems were capable and held a leadership role. This means the protagonists in harem animes do not qualify. In reality, they lack the skills, drive, and ability necessary for society to accept their harem. Their blandness do allow a viewer to project, but in the series, it would break their ability to attract a real harem. Harems appear around those in power, not around dull people. Of course, this is the better part of having an imagination. When a viewer projects themselves into a harem story and the only limit is their mind. You may not think about this when watching the story, but the unconsciousness always associate with possession, power, and wealth. Truthfully, I am not very fond of harem animes. I often prefer to watch something with an actual plot or is wholesome, as I do not need my mom to know the crap I've been up to. I'm just glad that she has footsteps so I can hear her when she's coming. Who can relate to this? And this is the end of the video, but do let me know what you think of harem animes. Do you like them or do you have a preference? If you would like, I have other videos you can check out. By the way, I am always thankful for your generous support and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!